The things I love about potatoes is they're so easy, and potatoes are such hardy plants, really. I mean, I've got some shooting potatoes here. They've got little sprouts coming out of them. Or, you know, if you've ever had in your larder like a potato that's started to sprout, you can use one of those. Even if it hasn't sprouted, you can use one of those. And if it's sprouted too much, you can still plant it. And you know what? If you go to a restaurant and you have a beautiful potato, ask the chef to give you 10 raw ones. Let them seed, plant the old fellas. So I'll do this one here. What I'm going to do is just dig a little hole 6 inches deep and plop my boy in, water it in, cover it up, and that'll grow. And the plant's job is to kind of get out into the light and start doing all its business. But what you can do is, as this little baby grows, you can see every inch there's like these little offshoots here. And they will turn into little strands that have a clutch of beautiful little potatoes coming off of it. If you start piling more and more sort of soil around it, and every time it sticks out, say 6 inches, you cover more mud up, so there's sort of 3 inches exposed. What happens is it has to keep growing up, and more clutches of potatoes comes out. So instead of getting sort of like 20 or 30 potatoes out of, you know, a plant, you can actually get sort of 20 or 30 kilos out of a plant. They call it earthing up, which essentially is kind of like challenging the plant. That's why potatoes are so fantastically popular around the world, because to a square metre, they're incredibly efficient at feeding you with good sort of energy food, you know, so brilliant. I'm going to do a cross between a Spanish omelette and a frittata. Spanish omelettes are generally finished on a hob. Frittatas are finished in the oven, so they sort of souffle up a bit. But I'm using chorizo, and brilliant, you know. Quality pork, sliced about 1 centimetre thick. You know, if you get a good one, you've got good quality fat in there, herbs, secret ingredients, smoked paprika, which I love to bits. And what I've got in the oven is a pan, nice and hot, and you get some oil straight in there. Right, and we go in there with the chorizo, and then in with the potatoes. Give it a little toss about. And the great thing is, you can see already, that paprika starts cooking out of the sausage, and that gives wonderful flavours. So you can see what I've done. In the wood oven, I've just put it on some coals. If you've got just a normal oven, you whack the oven on full whack and do exactly the same, no difference at all. And then I've got some rosemary. Now, rosemary, chorizo, pork, potatoes, brilliant friends. So a little pile of that. Lovely. So, I've got some lovely eggs. Right, so I've got a bowl. I'm going to use 3 eggs, nice large eggs. You can see, look at the lovely yellow yolks in there. So 3 eggs, a little pinch of salt, little pinch of pepper. Give it a little whisk up. You can see the lovely colour. And then you've got lovely the chorizo and you know, the potato. I mean, it's all the things you love, really. Sausage, potato, eggs. Look at that. We've already got nice colour. Delish. So what I want to do is just maybe flick off some of these. Right, and in the pan here, you've got the fat in there, right, and that's good stuff. I'm going to literally sprinkle that in, and as soon as that goes crispy, which is in about 15 seconds, like, it's snappy and meaty and steaky and delicious and fragrant. So literally do that, keep some in, and I'm going to just pour in the eggs, like that, and then flick all my bits of sausage and rosemary back into this little darling. Rosemary's important. I mean, just great flavour. It's looking good. Straight into the oven. And again, because it's got heat coming from above and below, it's more like when you do a souffle, and that'll almost double in size, and there'll be bubbles and stuff like that. So while that's cooking, I want to do a salad, but not your sort of conventional salad. I want to big up parsley. Try not to use the really big leaves. Get rid of any big stalks. Like that little fella, he can go. And then I've got a shallot that I've just pulled out the garden, and take the end off, peel the old fella. Thick chunky bits of onion in anything, I don't care who you are horrible. But, you know, if you start getting it wafer thin, it's delicate and beautiful. I don't want to eat a whole onion, so just that much is enough in there. And sort of concentrate on these onions for a bit. Bit of salt, bit of lemon. And that parsley will really need this lemon juice, otherwise it is just a herb, yeah? Olive oil. And then there's just this little bubba. But just before we dress it, sort of pinch that lemon juice, pinch it into the salt, really get the salt and lemon juice into it. And that'll take all the sting out of it. And then bring the parsley in. All right. Mix that up. Have a little taste with a bit of onion. Delicious. You wouldn't want a whole bowl of it. Absolutely not. This ain't a green salad. But watch this. My boy here comes out the oven. Give him a little slap. Fold him out. Light, fluffy, absolutely delicious. Get my lovely parsley. Like that. And for me, that's what cooking's all about. Exciting stuff, real deal. And although that's not authentic Spanish, if I gave that to a Spaniard, he'd give me a little ole. Last year, this was a potato bed. We had the artichokes here as well, but this was, you know, racked up with a couple of different varieties of potatoes, and we ain't done nothing to it. So we've got weeds and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what we've got, so I'm gonna sort of see what we get. I can't remember what was here. Let's have a little look. Oh yeah, Shimon! Look, purples. You got a big one here. Never seen. Look at the colour. Look at that colour. Absolutely fantastic. The truth is, the purple potatoes aren't the best tasting potatoes in the world. You can get some that are pretty good, but they look fantastic. Brian, go have a look at this, mate. We didn't plant these this year, did we?
No, I think they were planted last year, leftovers.
Look, there's some more. But look at them. Have you got a knife?
Yeah.
Cut one of these little fellas in half. And, you know, purples, no one in England really saw purple potatoes until about 5 years ago. Mad, though. What's been going on over here? Because
This should be quite interesting, because I planted some of the early potatoes in these buckets in February.
Yeah. Just turn it out?
Just tip the whole lot up and see what we get.
Wow, look at that root structure. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, look, there's the original. That's what I planted.
But isn't it amazing? Something so scabby and horrible and ugly looking can produce such a lovely family.
I've got a grow bag here. You could grow it in a little grow bag like this, for example.
Yeah.
What we do, I'll just demonstrate.
Oh, what, you mean upside down instead of laid down?
Yeah, if you try it upright like this, you just slice the top. Make sure it's standing up nicely. I'll just demonstrate with one of these new potatoes.
Can you plant that and it would work?
Possibly it would do, yeah.
It's just got to get dry and sprout.
Yeah. Plant it in.
So what if you didn't water that then?
Oh, you'd have to water it. You know, once it starts growing, keep it well watered and stuff it down.
Just one, or you can put a couple in?
I reckon you could probably put a couple in the side, perhaps. You make a slit there.
What's the slit for?
It's just to get the potato in. That way you can get it down the bottom without. It's just an experiment.
Yeah.
Don't be tough to push in, but I think that might work. And then the shoot will come out the side there.
You know, when I first moved to London, I had a tiny little garden, but it had a bit of sunlight. You know, I could have got 3, 4 of these.
Oh, easy.
And just put them up against the wall so you get the heat from the wall, bit of sunlight, bit of watering.
Yeah, keep them watered.
And that's it?
That's it. That's all you need to do.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice one, Brian.